South Africa downgrades Taiwan offices. Tainted water sickens 4 at Coldstone Taichung. Shen Yulin hospitalized in ICU. Thailand and Cambodia meet for talks in Malaysia. France to recognize Palestinian state. Head of China's famed Shaolin temple under investigation. Beijing region gets almost a year's worth of rain. Robot artist Ida unveils portrait of King Charles III.
Hello everyone, I'm Oceana. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It is Wednesday, July 30th, International Day of Friendship, and here are our top stories. And for today's Taiwan news, South Africa downgraded Taiwan's representative offices, renaming them Taipei Liaison Offices, and reclassifying them under international organizations. Taiwan's foreign ministry is considering countermeasures, including restricting chip exports, and urges South Africa to resume talks. 4 people were hospitalized after drinking tainted water at a Coldstone store in Taichung. A customer reported a strange, irritating taste, prompting emergency treatment. A staff member who also drank the water fell ill and joined the others at the hospital. Famous host Shen Yulin, 57, was urgently hospitalized and admitted to the ICU. Recently, he appeared visibly thinner and weaker during TVBS's talk show recordings. Although he said his weight loss was for health reasons, fans noticed his pale face and lack of energy, raising concerns about his condition. And in global news, ceasefire talks between Cambodia and Thailand were underway in Malaysia on Monday after days of deadly clashes on their disputed border sent civilians scrambling for safety and caused relations between the two neighbors to deteriorate. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet and acting Thai Prime Minister Puntham Wechachai met at the Prime Minister's official residence in Putrajaya, just south of the capital Kuala Lumpur.
Fighting between the two sides continued on Monday, with Cambodian authorities accusing Thailand of striking at least 2 locations in the early hours, while the Thai army said clashes were still ongoing in 3 provinces. Both sides have accused each other of starting the latest border flare-up and have traded blame for the ongoing fighting, which has continued despite calls from the United Nations and other global powers for it to stop. At least 35 people have been killed, over 200 injured, and more than 200,000 displaced since the fighting broke out. Trump said he had warned the Thai and Cambodian leaders that he would not make trade deals with either country if the deadly border conflict continues.
President Emmanuel Macron has said that France will officially recognize a Palestinian state in September, making it the first G7 nation to do so. Macron said the formal announcement would be made at a session of the UN General Assembly in New York. He wrote, "The urgent need today is for the war in Gaza to end and for the civilian population to be rescued. Peace is possible. We need an immediate ceasefire and the release of all hostages, and massive humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza."
Palestinian officials welcomed Macron's decision, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the move rewards terror following Hamas's attack in Israel. The U.S. strongly rejects Macron's announcement, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio calling the decision reckless. The G7 is a group of major industrialized nations, which, alongside France, includes the US, the UK, Italy, Germany, Canada, and Japan. Macron wrote, "True to its historic commitment to a just and lasting peace in the Middle East, I have decided that France will recognize the state of Palestine." Macron also attached a letter to Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas confirming his decision.
China's famed Shaolin Temple announced that its abbot is under investigation for suspected embezzlement and improper relationships with women, reviving decade-old allegations against the controversial high-profile monk. Yulin, also known as the CEO monk for his entrepreneurial endeavors that transformed the Buddhist monastery into a commercial empire, is suspected of criminal offenses including embezzlement and misappropriation of project funds and temple assets.
The monk was also accused of seriously violating Buddhist precepts by maintaining improper relationships with multiple women over an extended period and fathering at least one child. Buddhist monks in China have traditionally been expected to take a vow of celibacy. Established more than 1,500 years ago in the forested mountains of central China, the Shaolin Temple is both a religious and cultural icon, renowned for its age-old tradition of Zen Buddhism and Shaolin Kung Fu, a distinct form of Chinese martial arts. Shi, who became the abbot of the Shaolin Temple in 1999 and was a member of China's rubber stamp parliament for 2 decades, has frequently appeared in the media spotlight.
At least 38 people have died in the Chinese capital region after it was battered by almost a year's worth of rain in a handful of days, setting off flooding and landslides, cutting off power, and forcing the evacuations of tens of thousands of people. The heaviest toll was reported in the Chinese capital, Beijing, where 30 people died, following by its neighboring province of Hebei, where 8 died, state-run broadcaster CCTV reported on Tuesday. Intense rainstorms started to hit many parts of northern China as early as Friday.
Chinese President Xi Jinping said in an order Monday that the country was at a critical stage of its summer flood season and urged local officials to prioritize saving lives. The Chinese central government said Tuesday that it had allocated 350 million yuan, $48 million, in disaster relief funds to flood-struck places such as Beijing and Hebei. The rain prompted Beijing officials to issue the highest level of rainstorm alert for the first time this year. The rain damaged over 30 sections of road and cut off power in more than 130 villages, and about 80,000 Beijing residents were evacuated to safety, CCTV said. Beijing frequently floods in the summer. In 2023, severe flooding in the city killed at least 33 people, according to the state-run newspaper People's Daily.
The artificial intelligence robot Ada was devised in Oxford by Aidan Mellor, a specialist in modern and contemporary art, and built in the UK by Engineered Arts. She has been specifically designed as a humanoid to create art and has recently unveiled a portrait of King Charles III. Mr. Mellor said Ada and her artwork drill into some of the biggest concerns and thoughts of our time. Ada has cameras in her eyes, which she uses to take images.
Ada has been asked to produce and showcase work at the United Nations AI for Good Global Summit in Geneva. In 2024, she created a triptych of Enigma code-breaking mathematician Alan Turing, which was sold for more than £1 million at auction. This year, she turned her focus to King Charles III. Mr. Mellor said, "With the extraordinary strides taking place in technology, and always questioning our relationship with the environment, we felt that King Charles was a really good subject. Ada is connected to the internet, and she is able to speak at length about different people because she has a great deal of data at hand. It was through those conversations that the artwork was then able to be created."
The answer for yesterday was D, in. The government lowered taxes in a bid to boost the economy. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. France will recognize Palestinian State. Number 1, ceasefire. 停火,休战. The two countries agreed to a ceasefire after weeks of fighting. Number 2, humanitarian. 人道主义的. The organization provided humanitarian aid to the earthquake victims. Number 3, reckless. 鲁莽的,轻率的. His reckless driving caused a serious accident on the highway. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section, and the correct answer will be announced tomorrow. International Day of Friendship began nearly a century ago. Founded by Hallmark in 1919, it was meant for people to celebrate by sending cards. But by 1940, the market had dried up and eventually died out. Winnie the Pooh was named the UN's Ambassador of Friendship, and in 2011, the UN officially recognized the 30th of July as International Friendship Day, even though many countries celebrate it on the first Sunday of August. And that's all for today's FUNDAY News. Be sure to tune into FUNDAY News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm your host, Oceana, and I'll see you next time.